Hello, my name is Dr. Mike Berry, and I'll be the instructor for this class, AER 275, Aviation Communications Methods. The focus of the course is really to provide a non-flyer, someone who's in the Aviation Business Administration program, with an understanding at a non-flyer level of communication methods on the airport, in the aviation environment, within aircraft to tower communications, so that not that you'd become an expert in any way in that, but that you would have at least an understanding of jargon, understanding of procedure, understanding of how aviation professionals go about communication in that aviation environment. So this first week, you'll take a look at your textbook, and that's Say Again Please by Bob Gardner. It's a very simple book, although the orientation of the book is to those who are maybe beginning flyers or those that want to brush up on communication. I think it's a good, simple text for a non-flyer to get a pretty good aptitude and understanding of what's going on with the communication within the aviation environment. So in Chapter 1, they cover ABCs of communicating, the pilot-controller partnership for safety. You'll find throughout all of your courses that have anything to do with aviation, it's a hypersensitivity towards safety. Safety on the ground, safety in the air, safety for passengers or customers, safety for the pilots, and safety for those who are servicing aircraft, providing services on the ramps, in the airport, all over. It's a hypersensitive to safety. Then in Chapter 1, they talk about doing things by the book. Aviation's definitely a field where checklists and monitoring go on all the time, and many things are done by the book, meaning a manual or a procedures SOP, so that things like that, SOP, by the way, a standard operating procedure, so that there's an approved way to do things, and then people can monitor that they're being done that way. Because it's when you start swaying or swerving away from the SOP, things can get awry and potential for safety could decrease. So we talk about that. There's a section in Chapter 1 that talks about mic fright. And just think about that. Anyone that has to go and do any kind of public speaking in a group larger than one sometimes gets nervous. And so sometimes the microphone will go up there and people will stammer and stutter and not know what to do. Myself, videotaping these, my role is not necessarily a videotape educator, but I'm trying to communicate some things to you that might be helpful in your class. So mic fright, if you're in an airplane and you're trying to communicate with the tower and you're not sure exactly the right phraseology to use or the way to say things, could be a difficulty. But even if you're on the ground and say you're working in an FBO, which is a fixed-based operator, someone who rents aircraft and sells supplies and things, if you have mic fright and you get up to the microphone and you freeze, well, believe it or not, that's something that is common when someone starts, and only through practice and continually trying to improve does that mic fright disappear. So we'll talk a little bit about that in Chapter 1. And then when you get to Chapter 2, it's just an attempt to understanding your equipment. If you're speaking on a radio, what are the controls on that, transceivers, transponders, any kind of GPS, a global positioning system. In fact, GPS has revolutionized the aviation industry because in an aircraft or on the ground, you can tell exactly where you're at all the time. They'll talk a little bit about squelch, how to adjust your radio so that you can take out the background noise and make it the most efficient. In there, you'll talk about speakers and headphones and microphones that come around and allow you to speak into a mic boom, an appropriate way to do that, so that you understand some of the equipment that goes along with that. Every aircraft has an intercom of some sort, but even in FBOs, there's generally a radio sitting there, and so someone from the FBO could call out to 6321 mic, radio check, or an aircraft 194 Tango Hotel could call in and ask for direction or call in their Hobbs and TAC number. So it's done all the time. So that's what Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 are all about. Take a look at your syllabus. Be serious about going through the class. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. My email is michael.berry@calaero.com and my telephone number 661-615-5915. Thank you very much and welcome to AER 275 Aviation Communications Methods.